Imagine two leaders as different as fire and ice. One is a bravado-filled former Hollywood action hero whose grin and booming laugh once sold movie tickets, now selling executive orders as President of the United States. The other is a precise, reserved British Prime Minister whose steel-spined stare hides a man accustomed to quiet order and calculated risk. Their nations hail them as champions, yet they can't stand each other's presence on the same stage. Ridicule and rivalry follow every handshake until a single catastrophic strike makes them the world's most wanted fugitives. They met at a time when political headlines were dull, until every tabloid in the world got the shock of the year. Flyers buzzed with tensions, spilled in press conferences. Each leader's aides had long since stopped pretending the alliance was cozy. It was strained, public, and infamously intent on highlighting every flaw the other had. And when the two finally boarded the same aircraft, Air Force One, neither expected it to become the first page in a story that would flip the world upside down. Out of nowhere, steel screamed through the sky. The pleasant hum of the engines turned into fiery chaos. Metal cracked. A thunderous roar split the clouds. They were falling, not gently, but with violent rattles and a handful of parachutes between them and certain death. When they hit the ground, the free world assumed they were gone forever. But survival isn't a solo sport. In the wilderness of Eastern Europe, pursued by unseen enemies, the President and the Prime Minister found grudging cooperation was their only lifeline. The President, ever quick with a joke even when bullets screamed past him, snapped at orders. The Prime Minister, rigid and sharp, commanded every move with tactical precision. No one trusted them, and worse, a global conspiracy was unfurling behind every frightened whisper. The world watched leaks explode online. Secret files, coded betrayals, alliances compromised. A cyber ghost had plunged the world's military pact into doubt, and suddenly every policy paper and diplomatic treaty had the smell of treason. With death and deceit cracking the air, the two leaders discovered something unexpected. Survival required trust. They had to become partners, even if every nerve in their bodies resisted it. Along the way, an MI6 agent, once thought dead, emerged from the smoke of battle. She was smart, lethal, and carried secrets older than both men's political careers. She knew what had been stolen. She knew why. And she also knew that illusions of public image meant nothing when the aim was truly to save millions of innocent lives. In unraveling cables of lies and covert agendas, the President learned the truth about his rival. The Prime Minister revealed his own fears. They clashed, they argued, they pushed each other into frustrating corners. Yet every moment of friction forged a fragile connection neither expected. When the enemy revealed itself in full force at a summit meant for peace, those two men stood shoulder to shoulder once again. Explosions shattered glass and shook marble floors as they sprinted, dodged, and fought their way to the world's heart. In a final act that melted hesitation into raw teamwork, they faced down the threat that had tried to unravel the very idea of unity. By the time the dust settled and the cameras returned, NATO survived. Trust between nations breathed again, and two very unlikely allies found friendship born from fire. Months after chaos, they sat together at a quiet table. No speeches, no flashing cameras, just two men sharing food and laughter. One still teased the other over condiments on his plate. The world saw leaders, but the truth was far deeper. Two flawed humans who fought, feared, and finally believed in a cause bigger than themselves.